Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another quick pick prediction video. In this video, I'll be predicting the bantamweight bout between Cody Gibson versus Brad Katona. And this is like the tough finale for the bantamweight, the McGregor versus Chandler season. And yeah. So how I feel about this one right here is I'm gonna go low confidence Brad Katona to beat Cody Gibson here. I think Cody Gibson is a solid fighter. I think he really like he's the better overall fighter. Like, not say the better individual part, like of every single individual part. So I'm definitely not saying that. But as far as overall, it's like his striking's further along. It's like he's more of a finisher, like his, longer, lankier, all those things like that. And probably can use that long, lanky frame to gain advantageous positions in the grappling. But he is the older fighter as well. Another thing to note about tough finales and tough in general, it typically favors the younger fighter. Typically. I know this is an older season, like a veteran season and whatnot. Veteran versus prospects, and all the prospects are out. And the prospects were actually old. And the prospects weren't actually that young themselves. So, yeah, it was a weird season. So maybe that's going to reverse it. But typically, that's a youth year. But typically, the younger fighters prevail on tough seasons, like a large majority, like 99.9% of the times, like the younger fighter prevails. And yeah, Cody Gibson is 35 years old. Brad Katona is 31. So lean to the younger fighter here. And also, Cody Gibson didn't really fight too many decent fighters. He fought a bunch of those so-called prospects to get there. Whereas, Gibson fought one prospect, and he fought a legit contender in Tamir, well, not contender, but a legit fighter in Tamir Valiev. So yeah, yeah. So he actually fought a legit competition, whereas Cody Gibson didn't fight the best competition. He still probably nursing some injuries and whatnot. And I think one of the last fights that Cody Gibson had going before going into this thing was a loss to Ray Borg, who was able to wrestle him. Was able to win with wrestling. Was it an easy fight for Ray Borg? Not at all. It was a very competitive fight, but Ray Borg was able to find a lot of success with his wrestling. And I think Brad Katona should be able to find success with his wrestling here. But nonetheless, I think it's going to be another competitive fight. But I think but I think I think Brad Katona will be able to find success with his wrestling here. And I think that will be probably will be the biggest part to his victory here. And I think he'll be able to pace him, out-position him, out-wrestle him, and get a decision over Cody Gibson. But nonetheless, a very competitive fight. But ultimately, the wrestling, the takedowns, the control, and the pace of Brad Katona will be what gets him over and gets him to win another tough title. So no official titles, but 2 tough titles for Brad Katona. I think would that be the first in history? But yeah, so in this one, I had Brad Katona via decision.